welcome. I'm so happy you're here and you're starting this journey of relationship change and growth. For those who don't know me, my name is Dr. Brittany Carswell. I am a psychologist and a couples therapist. I've been doing couples therapy for 15 years. I am also a person like many of you who has stumbled through my own relationship and marriage. I've been married for 12 years, together 18 total, and I would like to go on record as acknowledging that working on my marriage has been one of the hardest, most challenging, and rewarding things that I've done in my life. It's something I am still figuring out and working on, so I am on this path alongside all of you. Starting this process is saying yes to something vulnerable, complicated, and so important to our overall well-being and health. I'm excited and grateful to be joining you as a resource in your journey. So let's get started by talking a little bit about the goal of this e-course and who it is best suited for. This course is theoretically designed to help couples at any point in your relationship, whether you're doing this as a premarital preparation, you've been married for many years, or if you're in the earlier stages of dating and commitment. In this course, I'm here in the role of a teacher and not a therapist. It is designed to be educational and to teach skills and strategies. This is not therapy nor a substitute for couples therapy. No therapeutic client-patient relationship will be established. Instead, this is really meant to be a self-led course that you can do on your own pace and time in the comfort of your own space. So it's really for anyone who wants to learn more about yourself, your relationship, relational skills, as well as the neuroscience underneath all of that. With that, there are situations where if the issues or level of distress in your relationship are past a certain point, then starting with only a course like this would not be recommended on its own without therapy as well. And you may instead then be advised to begin with one-on-one couples therapy. The last video in the intro module is going to address in more depth those various situations that indicate that this course alone may not be suitable. So please be sure to check that out as well. Some of you might already be in therapy with a couples therapist and just looking to add to that process, but many of you are likely doing this on your own as a precursor to doing therapy and a way to just grow as a couple. Others might be here on your own without your partner if they are not yet willing to engage in any assistance or even in an online course. I have had many individual clients over the years come to me when their partner was not willing or ready to engage in therapy. So that was actually a huge motivator for this course and creating something that could include even individuals whose partners aren't ready yet to engage. So this course is designed to provide education about skills to partners in any of these stages. Most of the knowledge, skills, and ideas within this course I did not invent. Many come from research and information changed, adapted, and integrated from several research-based couples therapy modalities. I have trained in Gottman couples therapy, relational life therapy, emotion-focused therapy, EFT, the developmental model, the psychobiological approach to couples therapy, as well as interpersonal neurobiology and many other approaches to neuroscience. And all of those together inform the skills in this course. What I found as I trained in many types of therapy over the years is that there were elements that overlapped and were talked about and taught in various different ways. I really liked parts of many models, and this program is me pulling an integration of those models and pieces together into a skill-based structure. In addition to that, I am a bit of a neuroscience nerd, and when I started to understand couples dynamics through a lens of a neuroscience, brain states, ingrained neural pathways, and wiring, it really transformed everything for me personally and within my own relationships. Concepts that felt a bit more abstract and that I personally had a harder time maybe putting into action or maybe just even kind of accepting finally crystallized for me in a different way. As a therapist, I was having a really hard time putting what I tried to teach my couples into action in my own relationship. And understanding the neuroscience for me finally was the missing piece in figuring out where I and we were stuck, and for really looking at myself in a different way and taking ownership of my role and my own part in the dynamics of my relationship. So if you like understanding a bit more of the nuts and bolts and science behind things and how human behavior works, and not just being told to do something, then this course is definitely for you. I wanted to find a way to help share that information and education with more couples. So this roadmap is my attempt at translating an integration of the neuroscience behind couples dynamics and breaking it down into manageable skills that follow in somewhat of a specific order. And so they kind of build on each other. While therapy is an amazing tool, and many couples may also be in therapy during this course or may consider it afterwards, for some of us, we may not be ready for that step yet, and or are wanting to learn and understand more before starting down that path. Also, couples notoriously tend to seek help late in the game when issues have become entrenched, rather than being preventative, seeking skills and knowledge before problems get big and deep-seated. My sincere hope is that this can be a resource, even for relatively healthy couples, to understand relationship dynamics and to therefore be preventative in how relationships are approached and maintained. As stated earlier, this course is not intended to be therapy or a substitute, but rather to educate and help empower you and your partner to gain a foundation of knowledge, skills, and practices. The goal here is to help transform relationships in part by preventing issues from starting or escalating in the first place. This is possible when each partner develops self-awareness regarding how each may be contributing to conflicts, while focusing on what each of us can do to maintain health or make shifts if needed. So why a roadmap? Well, my brain works in a particular way and really likes structure. Where this program initially stemmed from was for me, when I was dealing with complex couples issues, there's so much highly charged and emotional content that it is easy to get lost in the conflict of the week and the content. I wanted to have a very clear structure of ideas to ground the work and always bring us back to. So the goal of this structure is to not only normalize the cycle of overwhelm we all often feel when trying to deal with the complexity of relationships, but also to give a clear roadmap of skills and strategies that we can use to build health proactively, or to use when feeling desperate to solve a particular problem that is ailing our relationship. Knowing that no two relationships are exactly alike, there are also so many patterns and commonalities we can identify. I think about love and committed partnership as not a feeling, but a set of skills and actions. Falling in love is easy and requires very little of us, but staying in love, staying in connection, staying in a fulfilling partnership takes persistence, tending, work, acceptance. So the roadmap is then my conceptualization and merging of ideas from several different modalities of therapy. And it came together as 4 core concepts and 10 skills that I call the relational wellness roadmap. If you don't love structure, and I know there are many of us who do not, that is totally fine. I really tried to design this course to meet many different styles of learning. So each skill will start with a shorter overview video that I try to summarize the most important ideas and highlights of that skill in an overview format to watch first. Then there will be several more detailed videos within each skill where we dig into the nuances and practices of each skill and more into the neuroscience. There will also be quick summary review readings that go over the most important concepts in overview format, again, written out, and again, more in-depth readings as well for those who like to dig in deeper. And some of us do understand things better through reading. Then, of course, there's also going to be quick review cheat sheets that have quick literal roadmaps for communication and conflict and various exercises. So ideally, to really understand it all on a deep level, you'd start with the overview video first, then watch all the detailed videos and maybe even watch the overview again at the end, and then review the readings after. But also for those of us who don't necessarily need or want as much detail, you can start with a quick overview video. And for many of you, that might give you enough in some skills. And then you can decide how much more detail you want and in what format, what feels most important to you to take in the main information. And so you can opt to kind of play with it in whatever way works for you. So there are lots of different resources and different ways to take in the information at varying levels of detail. So use and prioritize what works best for your learning style. What I have tried to do is parse out the most important ideas I am teaching into different skills, and then each skill is broken down in a module in the course. So while I have separated concepts out into skills, I also want to name that I've done that because it's easier to teach and understand that way. But the reality is that all of these ideas are not mutually exclusive, and many will interplay with each other. So depending on where you are in your relationship journey and whether you have an ingrained conflict pattern, there are many who can easily translate and utilize this knowledge and these skills within your relationship without the help of couples therapy. In this way, this course could also function as a useful self-assessment, because if this does not work, if you're continually getting stuck, then this is when you may want to consider evaluating and integrating the help of a professional licensed couples therapist. More on that at the end of the course, if relevant. Just wanted to mention that. So again, the goal is to use the resources here in a way that works best for you and your learning style. But the one thing I will say is that change is always possible, but it is also often a lot harder than we anticipate, especially in relationships. We are going to get into the why it is so hard in this course, right? That's what the course is going to be all about. But suffice it to say at this point, if you really want change, the best way to achieve it is to include practice, review, and repetition. And that's part of why I've designed the course in the way I have. In my ideal vision of what this course can be, it's not only a preventative education tool that couples use before and during, but ideally it's a maintenance tool. Come back to it from time to time and do some quick review of the education and skills, because our old patterns tend to pull us back in. Again, these are all ideas we will return to in depth throughout. The next two videos are going to go over the core concepts and then the 10 skills really quickly. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to getting started.